All right, hello everyone. Welcome to the first of our Mediu education series of webinars featuring the topic of the Customer Contact Center in 2020. My name is Christine Knox, Inside Sales Executive for Mediu, and your moderator for this webinar. I'm joined by Wade Wyant, VP of Sales and Channels, and DJ Monroe, Senior Director of Strategic Services from Mediu. Before I hand it over to Wade, who will be the first presenter, I'd like to just go over a few housekeeping items. So all lines for participants are muted for today's webinar, just so you know. We will be sending an email to all participants after today's presentation that will include today's recording. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please use the question box on your control panel, which is on the right-hand side of your screen. You can also use this feature for any issues you might be having throughout the webinar. We will be taking all questions at the end of the webinar, and both Wade and DJ will be helping to answer those questions. We'd love for you to spread the word through social media about your experience today and what you've learned. So please feel free to do so and add the hashtag CCC2020. Throughout the webinar, there will be 3 polling questions. We'd really love for everyone to participate, so please enter your answers when prompted. And in addition, we'd love your feedback. After the webinar, you will see a brief survey appear. Please take a few moments to fill that out for us. So again, I'd like to thank you all for joining us, and at this time, I'd like to pass it on to Wade Wyant.
Thanks, Christine. As Christine mentioned, my name's Wade Wyant, and I'm the Vice President of Sales and Partner Channels here at Mediu. A little bit more on who we are will be highlighted at the end of our time together today. Today, I'm really excited to kick off our Mediu education series. This series will consist of 5 presentations over the course of 2016 that will highlight trends and technologies that we feel will make an impact on the contact center space now and in the future. The purpose of these slides are to educate and inform and to help start key conversations within your organization so that you can maximize your opportunity to offer your customers a first-class experience with your enterprise. We also understand how busy people are in their day-to-day job functions, and time is a premium. And that's why we've limited these presentations to 30 minutes in length in order to provide you with the information you need to know at a high level and in a timely fashion so you can consume the information and be on with your day. So without further ado, let's start our first installment as we explore the trends of the Customer Contact Center in 2020. One thing we believe wholeheartedly is that in 2020, the overarching theme that will dominate will be that the customer will own their customer experience in the contact center. So what exactly are we saying here? Simply put, we feel that the customer will take full control of his or her customer journey from choice of channel entry point to resolution by 2020. And while there are many examples of technologies and approaches that are in place today and will expand their presence to enable the customer-owned journey tomorrow, we chose to highlight 4 that we feel are significant and drive change in your contact center environment while empowering users and driving customer control of their customer experience. So first off, if we take a look at, just from a device standpoint, 26 billion everyday devices will be activated by 2020. And these will store data to potentially enhance customer retention and create revenue. The continued advancement and adoption of the cloud, the presence of chat as the frontline interaction mode, and social media continuing to be a force that companies need to harness. Again, to reiterate, customers will own their customer experience by 2020. And all signs point to customers owning their journey as they try and reach a resolution, buy additional products, or ask for technical help. According to Gartner, in 2020, we're expected to have over 1 billion cell phones in play. This will be the most popular launch point for most customers, as they will leverage their mobile devices' advanced features and functions to pick a channel in which to enter their journey. They'll launch from the web, mobile web, chat, and voice. And not just using the device to initiate the journey, but mobile users more and more now represent new revenue streams as they have the ability to get offers pushed to them by the vendor, which represents cross-sell and upsell opportunities for the enterprise. All of this points to customers in 2020 managing 85% of the relationship with an enterprise without any human interaction, according to Gartner. We also believe that the Internet of Things, or IoT, will open new ways to deliver the customer experience. And first off, for those not familiar with the Internet of Things, or IoT for short, let me provide you with my Wade Wyant simple definition. If it's got an on-off button, then it can collect and share data. So that means anything from a vacuum cleaner to an oil rig can share this data. And this allows companies to collect usage data in real time and provides an incredible opportunity for contact centers to understand their customers. The key is understanding this big data and leveraging it to its utmost potential. Today, there are examples of IoT use cases everywhere, and in 2020, they'll become much more mainstream. 3 areas we can concentrate on right now that you probably know about or see, but didn't know that, or may not know that it was IoT related, center around transportation, our own homes, and consumer goods. So let's take transportation, for instance. From a transportation standpoint, I think we're all very comfortable with OnStar. It's been around for a long time, created by GM. And for instance, the OnStar dealer maintenance use case enables your car to email your diagnostic report to the dealer. So as you're driving in real time, it's taking a diagnostic measurement of engine performance. It can tell you when it's time for a repair, an oil change. And the dealer will take this information, will contact you to set up a service appointment. Letting the user control the information here makes it easier to do business. Even in our homes, sensors track and control the state of lights, thermostat, and security devices, alerting homeowners and allowing them to control the elements of their home remotely. So vendors like Nest are becoming more and more popular as you can control everything about your home remotely from your smartphone. Again, the users maintain control of their interaction. And finally, an example of smart appliance, where a smart appliance might be able to determine a part that is in need of replacement, transmit that data out to the call center, and the manufacturer can let the customer know that there's a problem and ship the parts to fix it. It helps the customer save themselves from a potentially costly repair by finding the problem early. Just as companies invest billions on technology and best practices to deliver first-class customer experiences, they're also looking to offset those costs by deploying these technologies in the most cost-effective manner. Now, more and more, we see cloud deployment as being the choice of either net new customer experience stand-up efforts, or as additional technologies are added to an organization's current customer contact center platform. What is clear is that the cloud is not going away. In fact, it's being considered and deployed in larger scale enterprise deployments as the cloud's ability to scale improves. Now, most analysts close to the industry believe wholeheartedly that chat is primed to overtake voice as the primary mode of interaction. But what's interesting is that businesses are not getting the message. Business leadership, for instance, only 29% of customers state that they rely primarily on the phone for service. Yet the vast majority of service leaders in the industry still believe that customers prefer to call. And on top of that, 60% of company investment in contact centers are focused on voice. We feel that these investments fly in the face of where the money should be spent. There clearly needs to be a focus on the right investments. And probably the most misunderstood trend is clearly social media, and how to harness this unstructured real-time data to a company's advantage. What is not misunderstood is that the successful companies will be the ones that find a way to leverage social media to retain happy customers. According to Gartner, by 2020, recognizing social media as a channel that is in use by the entire organization, rather than on a department-by-department basis, can help businesses orchestrate a multi-channel, multi-purpose customer experience. And further, while the customer engagement may be futuristic for many organizations, leaders that can identify social media's role in the complete customer journey will be better positioned to enable transactions over social channels or facilitate the customer journey from social media to other traditional or digital channels. In short, using personalization and customer journey analytics technologies to enrich customers' experiences will be very key in the future of customer journey and experience. So that brings us to the first of our 3 polling questions. Christine will walk everybody through at a high level of where to find the question and how to answer it. So Christine?
All right, thanks, Wade. For our first polling question, which will appear on your screen in a moment, which of the following is your highest priority in order to get your contact center ready for the 2020 customer experience? That should be pulling up on your screen. Go ahead and answer. We have IoT, cloud, chat, social media, and others. We'll wait a few seconds until everybody enters their answer. We're at 60% voted. All right, I'll be closing in 3, 2, 1. So it looks like 0 IoT, Internet of Things, 21% cloud, 41% chat, 24% social media, and 14% other.
Interesting results, very spread out, with the exception of Internet of Things. Thanks, Christine. It is important to note that the trends represented in the previous slides are only a sample of the changes that we anticipate in the contact center of 2020. While 2020 seems to be a little bit far off, we all know that time flies. So now's the time to pay attention and assess the current state of your contact center and focus on how to incorporate these trends to hit the ground running in 2020. I want to take the time now to introduce DJ Monroe. He's Mediu's Senior Director of Strategic Services, and he's going to discuss at a high level how you might approach assessing your current state of your contact center and what you should consider in preparation to meet the demands that we placed on organizations in just a few years. DJ?
Thanks, Wade. So Wade did a great job of mentioning the trends that are bringing us into 2020. So now I'd like to take the chance to tell you about how we will help you get there strategically. So just some things to consider in your current contact center state. One, do I provide my customers with multiple interaction channels? So Wade mentioned a few of the channels that are out there, some of the classic channels that we have available to us, as well as some of the channels that are just emerging, like Internet of Things. And also, do I track and strive to improve first interaction resolution across those channels? Am I only looking at this on my voice channel, or am I looking at it across interaction channels? As Wade mentioned, 58% of your callers into your contact center probably already tried to resolve their issue across other channels. So if we're not measuring this and we're not working to improve their ability to resolve their challenges, we're just creating frustration and disloyalty in our customers. So do I offer my customer base a consistent experience across interaction channels? Oftentimes, different interaction channels are owned by different silos within an organization. So if we're not able to provide a consistent experience across those interaction channels, again, we're just adding frustration to our customers. Do I address the controllable drivers of channel switching within each interaction channel? So once I've measured the reasons that people are switching, what am I doing to resolve those reasons? What am I doing proactively to look at all of the sources of self-service and information that I have available to my customers to make sure that they're built in such a way that's going to encourage customers to stay with that interaction channel and avoid channel switching? So what is your vision? Does your customer experience vision adhere to the voice of your customer? I know for me personally, when I call into a call center and I don't get the experience that I feel like I should be getting, one of the things that I often want to do is try to get a hold of the CEO of that company and explain to them how perhaps they could better provide me with customer service. A better way of doing that is if at the end of an interaction I have some way to voice my opinion about that interaction that just took place. So are we doing that? Are we capturing our customer's vision, and do we incorporate that into our vision? And once we've done that, is our overall corporate vision embracing this and allowing us in the contact center or in other areas of the business that manage certain interaction channels to embrace that vision and incorporate it into our strategies? Some things to consider that are examples of alignment. Am I focusing on reducing customer effort across interaction channels? Customer effort is the #1 driver of loyalty amongst our customers. So if we're not providing our customers with a low effort experience across interaction channels, we're really just funding their disloyalty. Am I providing a guided experience directing my customers to the lowest effort channels and options to resolve their issues? If I'm not guiding my customers to the channels where their issues are easily resolved, again, I'm just adding to their effort to resolve interactions. Maybe they don't want to sit on hold for 5 minutes just to get their interaction resolved if it could easily be done from the website. Do I consistently use terminology and language across channels that is free of jargon and easy for my customers to understand? Am I speaking to my customers like they would want to be spoken to, or am I using internal language to talk to my customers? Am I using acronyms that they don't know or understand? So I think we have another polling question, so I'll kick it back to Christine for a moment.
All right, thanks, DJ. All right, next polling question. Does your organization have a way to monitor when a customer switches from one channel to another? And that should be loading on your screen now. We have the answers of yes, no, and I don't know. Wait a couple more seconds here. Okay, and I'll close the poll. So it looks like 25% are measuring, 42% no, and then 33% they don't know. So it's kind of spread across.
Great, thanks, Christine. So what we're seeing is the transcendence of channels from the contact center space to other areas of the business. As this occurs, CX is often disjointed and inconsistent. In an effort to address CX with strategies that holistically focus on the customer experience, we've created the CX enablement practice. Go back. So the approach that we've mapped for this is to provide an assessment of your current environment, and this is where we want to really get down in the trenches with your people and your systems and your tools. Look at them at a very detailed level and provide an objective assessment of what your current state is within your contact center and across your enterprise. We really focus on this from the perspective of the customer. So we're going to navigate your customers' journeys with you, and we're going to really try to understand the types of things that they may encounter when trying to service through your company. Once we have an assessment and we have some high-level solutions envisioned, we're going to sit down with your business and your leadership and work on specific goals, metrics, and KPIs to put into a 36-month roadmap with you. And then we're going to work with you to ensure that this roadmap is met with checkpoints along the way. All along, our professional services and our premium support offerings through Assurance are going to come into play to help you meet your roadmap goals. So what we really have here is a life cycle approach. Again, it begins with assessment, envisioning, and mapping, and checkpoints all along the way. So what we want to have as a result is iterative improvement in your environment. So we want to come back every year, reassess where you're at against your roadmap, and see how much progress has been made in the previous 12 months. So here's some sample deliverables. what we really want to provide you through the assessment is some actionable supporting data based on objective assessment. So we're not just providing our expert opinion on things. We're truly trying to back it up with data that you can use in your environment to objectively make decisions. So again, I'll hand things over to Christine, and I thank you all for your time.
All right, so last polling question. All right, on a scale of 1 to 5, how ready is your organization for optimal 2020 customer experience? I'm going to launch that on your screen. Go ahead and answer. Number 1, haven't started thinking about it, all the way to number 5, very prepared. We're about halfway there with people voting. Okay, I'm going to close the poll in 3, 2, 1. All right, it looks like 5% haven't started thinking about it. 27% are unprepared. 27% are also in the planning stages. 36% are somewhat prepared, and 5% are very prepared. What?
Pretty good spread, and not surprising. It usually translates to those numbers. Thanks, Christine. So we want to deliver a few quick facts about Mediu as we wrap things up, and then we'll provide you some information on the next 2 upcoming presentations, and then we'll follow everything up with a Q&A session. Basically, Mediu is a Central Ohio-based consulting firm. We have 20 years of experience working with Fortune 500 companies to help them build world-class customer contact experiences. Our delivery methodology and experience have helped save companies millions of dollars. We invite you to join us on April 26th for the second installment of our education series, where we look at leveraging speech analytics in the customer contact center. Look for an invitation here in the near future. And then also keep in mind, in the spring-summer time frame, we'll be installing our 3rd edition, and we'll look at how an enterprise customer feedback platform that leverages all your channels can be used to create a first-class customer experience. And finally, in terms of our contact information, if there are any questions regarding the content in today's presentation, or if you'd like an additional information on Mediu's offerings, please feel free to reach out to Christine at her contact information below, or by connecting through social media at our social media handles that are listed here. So now I want to take a few of our remaining minutes and take some questions from our audience. So Christine, if you want to open that up, and let's see what kind of questions we have that DJ and I can do our best to answer.
All right, great. So, all right, so I have one here. How can we potentially measure channel switching?
So that's a great question. There's a couple of really good methods out there. The method that I would recommend is have your agents ask the question. So you can do this as a sort of a sampling type study over a period of time with specific groups within your organization. The reasons for channel switching may vary from interaction type to interaction type and from need to need. So what I would recommend is for a week or 2 within each of your groups, simply have a script that your agents follow when they start an interaction, and ask why the customer called in, and if they were switching from the website or from another channel, and why. And there's some really good scripts that we could go through to help out with that. The other thing that you can do is you can add it as a question at the end of your post-call survey. So if you're currently doing a post-call survey, it can be a portion of that. I think it's a little harder to get specific answers from customers that way.
All right, great. There was a question about receiving a copy of the slides. We'll be doing that, as well as you'll be receiving a recording, as I mentioned at the beginning. So everyone will be receiving both a recording and the slides.
Okay.
So Another question here is, can you work with Cisco contact centers?
So from a CX enablement standpoint, we're a completely technology agnostic offering. Our focus really is on the customer experience. So regardless of what platform you use, I think Wade will tell you that we have several partnerships. Primarily, our big partnership is with Genesys. Now, as you may or may not know, Genesys does integrate well with Cisco, and we support many call centers that have Cisco in their environment with and without Genesys.
And it's important to note also that one of the advantages that we do have in the marketplace is we're surrounded with fantastic people here on staff with a wide range of expertise in a lot of different technologies. Anything obviously within the contact center domain, but also from an integration standpoint too. And this really adds value to our customers.
So I see a great question from Mike Burt. Is minimized customer effort something that can be measured in flight, or is it all about design and integration? So Mike, I would say that it's a combination of both. There's some really good best practices that are out there that you can do proactively to make sure that your various interaction channels and self-servicing capabilities provide the least effort possible. As far as where you measure customer effort, typically it's done through a survey at the end of the call. Many people are using NPS, which is really a measure of a customer loyalty, and we certainly support that and would want those customers continue to do that. But I think another good step to add would be to add the customer effort score to the end of call survey as well, and use that information because I think it's a little bit more actionable when it comes to nailing down what exactly it is within interactions that's causing effort and frustration for your customers, and that really is the driver of disloyalty in the first place.
All right, there's one other question. How do you see companies integrating social media into their contact center?
Okay. So the classic way that we see customers integrating social media into their contact center is to simply have a team of people that are manually sifting through social media sites for posts related to their company or on their social media site. A better way to do it would be to automate it, to have some sort of a business rules and routing engine that can automate the process of sifting through those posts and route them to a resource that is best skilled and qualified to respond to those posts. And we do have solutions that provide that specifically through Genesys and some of our other partnerships. So here's your question. Do you provide first line support for these channel offerings? So the Mediu Assurance Group, this is our premium support offering. All of our products, services, and resale products that we provide through our professional services group, we support 100%, and we'll provide any level of support of those products all the way up through a full-blown managed services offering where we will essentially own the solution for you. Okay. Any more questions?
2:30.
Okay. Well, I want to thank everybody again for their time today, and I ask that you please take a few seconds to fill out our survey that you'll see as we sign off. And again, I hope this has been helpful, and we look forward to re-engaging again on April 26th in the second installment of the Mediu Education Series. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, everyone.